Hi everyone, welcome to this last video in our lecture series on cabinetry. We're going to talk about nomenclature and what are all those little letters and numbers on your kitchen floor plan. As it turns out, nomenclature is a fancy word for a naming system. Cabinet manufacturers use a code to designate every cabinet unit's size, its use, and its placement in the kitchen. And your Appendix A in the Kitchen and Bath Products and Materials textbook, or it's actually Appendix B, it's the same thing, but they named it something else, in the Kitchen and Bath Design Presentation book, um, defines some of the generic nomenclature and has some illustrations of those various cabinets. So I invite you to go and read more about them there. There are some common codes, some common formats to this nomenclature, but it also does vary by manufacturer. So you need to refer to your specific manufacturer's brochure to make sure that you're ordering the correct thing. In your module, I've placed this article for you. It's called Cracking the Kitchen Cabinet Code. And it kind of breaks down how these nomenclature codes are put together. So let's take a look. The first letter or letters in your code is going to be your cabinet type. And in this example, it's W for wall. Next, you have groups of two numbers, all right? And each of those is going to indicate a distance in inches. The first one is the width, then the height, then the depth. If you don't need one of those numbers, it will be left off. All right, so some of them, for example, this base cabinet right here, will not have all three sets of numbers. At the end of the code will be any additional information, special type, anything else. All right. So let's take a look at your wall cabinet nomenclature. Most wall cabinets are going to have this format. It says W, then it's got two groups of two numbers. This one says 24, 30. The W identifies it as a wall cabinet. 24 is the width and 30 is the height. Most wall cabinets have a standard depth of 12 inches, so they just leave that off. They don't put the depth into the nomenclature. If there is a non-standard depth, for example, remember those cabinets that go above the refrigerator, then you'd add that third number on there. So a W36 24 24 would be a wall cabinet because it's W, 36 wide, 24 tall, and 24 deep. Now, what they don't indicate on here is whether it has one door or two doors. All right, so remember that manufacturers usually have a particular height where they switch over from a one-door to a two-door unit, and that is not indicated usually in the nomenclature. Base cabinets. So your typical code for a base cabinet just indicates the width. A height is usually standard at 34.5 inches. The depth is usually standard at 24, so they just leave those ones off. So, for example, a B15 would be a 15-inch wide base cabinet. And a sink base, SB, is a common code, might be a 30-inch wide. There are lots of different codes for the corner cabinets, and so you're going to need to look more specifically into how your particular manufacturer indicates those. Remember that the common or standard base cabinet is going to have one drawer and then one door underneath, just as shown as this in this illustration here. The article I provided for you has a whole list of some of the more common abbreviations for cabinet types. Please take a look through these. I'm not going to sit here and read them to you, but realize that you have to double check these things every time you are working with a new cabinet manufacturer or a different line of cabinets because they do change. So let's finish up by practicing reading some common cabinet nomenclature. This is from the sample floor plan provided in your textbook. And let's take a look. I've just kind of zoomed in on an upper right-hand corner of this plan. And let's look at this cabinet right here. Can you read it? Pause the video and give yourself a chance here. All right, time's up. It is a W2151R, which means that it is a W for wall cabinet, 21 inches wide, 51 inches tall, so it's a very tall cabinet. And what's the R mean? It turns out the R is the hinges are on the right. So that's how the door opens. Take a look at the other side of this range and look at the W2151L. That's going to be the matching cabinet, only with a left-hand opening. All right, let's practice again. Read this one. It says 3DB27. Pause the video and see if you can figure out what that means. All right, time's up. 3DB means it is a 3-drawer base. So it's going to have 1, 2, 3 drawers. It doesn't have any doors. And what is the 27? It's 27 inches wide. One more, okay? This one says LCB36R. Pause the video and see if you can figure out what that one means. All right, time's up. The LCB is going to be a code for a corner base of some kind. Might be Lazy Susan. I'm really not sure. They're not showing a Lazy Susan. So you would really have to know what manufacturer and look at their codes to find out. The 36 is probably the distance to the corner right here, 36 inches. And the R is going to be the right-hand hinge for the door, so your hinge is going to be right here. All right, everyone, you just found out, you got a little clue into the code of cabinet nomenclature. Thank you.